The Subcommittee on Economic Development, Public Buildings, and Emergency Management will come to order. We are going to be challenged this morning with a very aggressive floor calendar, and so my goal is to get through opening testimony before first round of votes. I know that we have a number of questions. We will probably reserve those to try to get those through between the first and second series of votes. Let me first thank our witnesses for being with us today. The purpose of today's hearing is to review the latest GSA proposal for a new courthouse in Los Angeles and to consider if the project is a wise use of taxpayer money given the well-documented overbuilding in the courthouse program and the current fiscal crisis in our government. Last Congress, at the request of the subcommittee, the GAO, completed a review of the 33 courthouses constructed between 2000 and 2010. What the GAO found was incredible. GSA built over 3.5 million square feet of courthouse space that we don't need at a cost of $800 million. As a result, the judiciary abandoned existing courthouses across the country and severely underutilized every new courthouse. The GAO identified three reasons for this waste. First, GSA built courthouses bigger than Congress authorized. Second, the judiciary's 10-year projections of the number of judges were not worth the paper they were written on. And third, if the judges shared courtrooms, we wouldn't need as much courtroom space as we have. As a result, the subcommittee sent a letter to the President indicating we would not authorize any new courthouses until there were significant reforms in the courthouse construction program. We also demanded the judiciary conduct a real courtroom utilization study so that a third party could figure out how many judges can share a courtroom. Because without the data or analysis, it's very difficult for us to determine if these projects are a good idea or a waste of taxpayer dollars. So it's in this context the GSA and the judiciary want to resurrect the Los Angeles courthouse proposal. Over the last 11 years, the judiciary projected there would be somewhere between 72 and 81 judges in Los Angeles by 2011 or 2014. The judiciary declared Los Angeles the #1 judicial space emergency in the United States and proposed a massive new courthouse. However, today we know the primary justification for a new LA courthouse is wrong. There are fewer judges in LA now than there were in 1997. Let's put up slide 1, please. Today we have 2 buildings with 61 courtrooms and only 59 judges. Put up the second slide. In 2004, they projected 81 judges, and today we have 59. It seems to me that the projections on which the judicial space emergency and the new courthouse were based ever really materialized. I'm also concerned the remaining funds are not near enough money to build the courthouse you're proposing, and we certainly don't want to see big cost overruns. In 2008, when GSA proposed an even smaller courthouse, the judges of the Central District of California unanimously rejected it, citing the GSA's cost estimates were unrealistic and that the new plan would not address their capacity concerns. If there wasn't enough money to build a 414,000 square foot building in 2008, how is it possible to build a 650,000 square foot one today? And if the funds are sufficient, would there be enough money to convert the abandoned courtrooms in the Roybal or Spring Street buildings? I'm afraid that this will have to be where GSA spends all of the money. Let's put up slide 3. 85 courtrooms for 59 judges, half of which should be shared courtrooms under the judiciary's own sharing policy. We've seen this before in at least 7 other cities where new courthouses were built and the ones sit vacant as a burden to the taxpayer and eyesores to the community. To avoid this, I think GSA will have to ask for a lot more money. Slide 4, please. Over $700 million will be needed to build a new courthouse and convert the abandoned courtrooms into office space. Yet GSA's construction budget is zero. GSA has no money for other critical projects. $500 million for the Coast Guard headquarters is being constructed, but there's no money for a road to actually get to the building. Critical infrastructure work at the White House is being delayed indefinitely because the building fund is empty. So again, that is the reason to ask those couple of questions on how we're going to come up with the extra money on Spring Street and the Roybal building and the third new courthouse for the amount of money that is already out there. At this time, we feel like it's unwise to use taxpayer money to build a third LA courthouse. Before I close, I'd like to raise one last point. Yesterday morning, GAO briefed me on the judiciary's courtroom utilization study and the courtroom sharing models it developed with an outside expert. Among other things, the simulation company GAO used works with hospitals to determine how many operating rooms they need. Apparently, hospitals don't have operating rooms for every single surgeon. It's far too expensive to do that, yet hospital needs have an operating room available for emergencies. So GAO had the computer simulation modified to incorporate the judiciary's courtroom utilization data, and now it can figure out how many courtrooms you need so there will always be a courtroom available. GAO ran this centralized sharing model for Los Angeles, and it appears all of the judges can fit in just the Roybal building. No new courthouse would be needed, and Spring Street could be sold. I look forward to hearing from GSA and the U.S. courts today to understand their current proposal, its cost, and its justification. I also look forward to hearing from GAO. I'd now like to recognize Ranking Member Norton from the District of Columbia for 5 minutes to make any opening statements she may have.